Canton Network with their coin, the Canton Coin, is making massive waves in the market coming up out of nowhere. So you're probably asking yourself, what is this project? More importantly, what is the Canton Coin and should I invest in this? In this video, we're going to break down the Canton Coin and their tokenomics, and we're going to show you what they're really doing and what makes them different versus the other projects out there. So stick around to find out more. Canton Network and their coin, the Canton Coin. Like I said, it really is popping up out of nowhere, and I think people are trying to catch up to see what's going on. Even though this project's been around for quite some time, they have been really quiet. So let's go ahead and read a post from the Canton Network's X account that was posted on December 24th, 2025, and it kind of gives you a breakdown, a top line of what makes them different. So check it out. It says Canton rewards builders, no insider allocations, no shortcuts, supply is earned by creating utility, apps, nodes, and infrastructure. Burn mint equilibrium reflects real network usage. Rewards go to apps and their users. Tokenomics built for builders. So already right there, that is a different way to go about it. They are not releasing a bunch of tokens to insiders and people that are pre-IPO or ICO, what have you. Their tokens actually go to people that are running the validators, super validators, and the people that actually work the network or use the network. So it is incentivizing people to continually use that network, which brings more validity behind it, right? So that's a key difference already behind how they release their tokens. But don't worry, we will go deeper into it. We're going to break it down very simplified. And if you are new to the Canton Network and trying to catch up, and this is the first video you have seen on it, I have a playlist right here that breaks down the overview of Canton, and then we also go into behind the scenes of who's running this network and the players behind it. So definitely check that out if you want to learn more. Now let's keep rolling. Let's break down what makes them different by rewarding utility. So go ahead and check out a article that is on their actual website, and it says Canton Coin rewarding utility. Canton Network introduced a different approach. Think of network not as a toll road, but a thriving city. Yes, it needs great roads and bridges, but thrives because of the businesses, services, and citizens who bring it to life. Every Canton Coin network's native token is earned, not pre-allocated. It's continually distributed based on each participant's real contribution to network utility. 35% go to infrastructure providers such as super validators, 50% to application builders, those deploying smart contracts, tokenizing assets, and creating apps. 15% to users, those transacting and engaging with apps/validators. This design ensures that all participants are aligned on the network's growth. The more your application drives activity to the network, more you can earn. And again, this is what I was saying earlier. It's just they do a good job of incentivizing people to use their network. And how you get these tokens, these coins, is by actually using their network. So again, that incentive to actually use and develop and control that network is huge, especially when you look at the super validators. In my previous videos I was speaking about on my playlist, we go into those super validators, and they are the ones that are really overseeing the main network of it, if you will. But they also have this lever, this mechanism that will slowly take away their power over time, which we'll cover. So stick around for that, because that right there alone is a big difference in this network. But let's keep on reading on about it, and let's read what else they are doing that's different. So again, we'll keep on reading down. It says fair, transparent, and built for institutions. Canton's tokenomics sidestep many of the pitfalls seen in earlier networks. No pre-mine, no VC allocations. Every token in circulation has been earned by delivering utility. Burn and mint equilibrium. Usage fees are burned, and new coins are minted based on participation. This keeps supply responsive to demand and ties value to network usage. Enterprise-grade transparency. Even though transactions are private by default, reward distributions and Canton Coin fees are published, providing insight into what's driving value without compromising privacy. So again, this is another different way to go about the whole crypto sphere, if you will, because this is something you don't see too much of. And towards the end, Rush can get on there and look at their transparency and see how the allocations are broken down, because they do post it to the public data that you can have access to. And we'll check that out in a second. And if you like this kind of information, Please consider hitting the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. I have right now sitting at 4,200 subscribers, going for that 5,000 mark. So if you like it, hit the like button. I compete with 3 million videos plus a day. So that like button helps push this video out. And if you have been around for a while, you know I appreciate you so much. So thank you for supporting the channel. You guys mean the world to me. So let's keep reading more on about this. And as I said, as we get going further into it, you'll understand the holistic picture of this and why it is very much different than a project that you have seen out there before. So let's read on about it. It says dynamic supply, not fixed cap. The supply of Canton Coin works much like Ethereum or Solana, unlimited in theory, but fairly stable in practice. There's no hard cap on issuance. However, every transaction on Canton burns CC, offsetting new emissions. Over time, these two forces, minting and burning, balance around network activity and price, market price. That means total supply will stabilize well below the theoretical issuance curve as the burn rate rises with usage. So essentially they have a balancing mechanism, which we will cover a little bit more in detail here in just a second, but that BME is already something that is different than I've seen elsewhere. We've seen a lot of escrows being locked up and released through smart contracts. Although this is kind of similar, it is very much different, and you'll see why here just in a second. But let's read about the fully diluted market cap and how that price might fluctuate up or down. So we have for Canton Coin, fully diluted valuation and market capitalization are effectively the same. FDV market cap equals current total supply times current market price. Future supply depends on how much is burned versus how much is minted, a function of the network demand. Near-term inflation will run higher than Ethereum or Solana, but will decline steadily as the emission rate halves and burns increase with adoption. So that might be a little bit of a technical jargon, a little bit convoluted, if you will, but we will break it down just a little bit more simplified. And we're going to take a look at their white paper here in just a second that really gives you an understanding of how this coin can become valuable and why the institutions would want this and the big enterprises want this token for these reasons. So let's go ahead and read on more about it. We're going to talk about how supply adjusts and you get a better understanding of how this Canton coin really operates via its tokenomics. Okay, it says Canton fees are denominated in US dollars per megabyte of transaction data, but paid by burning CC on the on-chain conversion rate. When network demand is high, CC price is low relative to usage, more Canton coin is burned and supply growth slows, even turning deflationary. When activity is lower, burn slows, allowing supply to expand. This dynamic creates a natural burn mint equilibrium, BME, a feedback loop between usage, price, and supply. Equilibrium over time. Once the market finds equilibrium under the BME, issuance and burn should roughly balance. At that point, total supply should remain fairly consistent, adjusting slowly around long-term demand. Because supply adapts dynamically, market capitalization, not theoretically maximum supply, is a right way to measure value. So essentially, we'll read more about it here in just a second through the white paper, but they're going to release a steady amount as it burns, and they want to release about 2.5 billion supply of Canton coins per year. That's their target mark, but that's not going to happen until later on in the future. And as we read through the white paper here just in a second, you'll understand where we're at with the supply, why we have, I think it's like 36 or 37 billion roughly out in the market right now. But that is going to be reduced over time significantly based on their halving. So let's go ahead and read more about that from their white paper. And again, this was very interesting as I was diving through this because they are trying to keep it a fair and balanced system. So let's read on from it. It says, this is from their white paper, which will be in my description down below. So definitely check it out. It's 28 pages long if you want to run through it. I'm on page 8, so you know. It says, as defined by the minting curve, the Canton Coin application creates a predetermined amount of Canton coins that can be minted over time at a steady state. The Canton Coin application allows the minting of 2.5 billion Canton coins per year. Thus, the cumulative number of Canton coins minted is always increasing. This is offset by the number of Canton coins burned. According network usage must burn 2.5 billion Canton coins per year to keep the number of Canton coins in circulation stable. So essentially what they're doing is they're trying to, I'm trying to hide some stuff for you. So essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to essentially release 2.5 a year and burn 2.5 a year. Of course, that's not going to be exactly the same, but they do have a mechanism in place, which we're about to read about in a second, that if it does go above or below, there's a self-adjusting mechanism lever that will balance that out. So let's read more about it, which again, this is what the tokenomics and what makes these coins valuable is the control of supply and demand. So let's go ahead and read on more about this. It says, as an example of this burnt mint equilibrium mechanism, if the use of global synchronizer grows in a given year and users burn 3.5 billion Canton coins as fees, the supply of the coins will decrease by 1 billion that year. In this scenario, since supply decreases as utility increases, it would be reasonable to expect that Canton Coin to USD conversion rate would increase. Since the global synchronizer charges USD denominated fees, any conversion rate increase would cause a decrease in the number of Canton coins users will burn as fees. This decrease in burn would continue to the network reaches equilibrium of 2.5 Canton coins burned per year. The opposite effect would be observed in the global synchronizer shrinks in a given year, and the users burn fewer Canton coins as fees than are minted. The conversion rate of Canton coin to USD would be expected to decrease until the number of Canton coins burned reach 2.5 Canton coins per year. Okay, so if that was confusing because of my reading pattern, I get it. I'm dyslexic and it's hard for me to stay on track sometimes. But essentially what's going on is they went to 2.5 burn, 2.5 release. But if something were to happen, let's say if it shot up and they burned 3.5 billion and they still needed 2.5, that's still a billion Canton coins difference. So it will slow down and catch itself back up. If it's too high or too low, it will automatically adjust over time till it finds that balancing point again to that 2.5. And that's an automatic contract built into that. So that's impressive that they have that ready to go. So for the people that are worried about, hey, there's unlimited supply of Canton coins, you have to understand there's also a release rate of 2.5 billion Canton coins. So we're going to read more about this because we spoke about the super validators earlier and how that is going to get to the halving point. So let's read about the halving point, and again, which helps take off these Canton coins off the market. Again, supply and demand. This is how the demand and price goes up, right? Because you're going to remove the supply. And this is how they plan on removing the supply. And they're going to do it here soon, so check it out. It says the most important incoming event in Canton supply dynamics is around the 78,000 block coming up around mid-January 2026, which represents a double reduction of super validators. First, total issuance per block will be cut in half. Second, the super validator share of that issuance will fall from 48% to 20% as more rewards are redirected towards validators and applications. 3 years later, a similar double halving occurs again. Total issuance halving once more, and the super validator shares drop again from 20% to 10%. This compounding effect means that once the network reaches a burn mint equilibrium across validators and application, the super validator pool becomes the dominated and rapidly shrinking source of new issuance. By the early 2030s, super validators emissions will be represented a tiny fraction of the total supply, making Canton Coin's inflation profile one of the lowest among major layer ones and networks. So essentially they are planning to remove a bunch of the Canton coins off the market around the 2030 mark. And 2030 is when a lot of this technology really is supposed to hit that massive adoption to get that price appreciation a lot of people are expecting. And they're doing this by cutting it in half. So the super validators right now are getting a lot of these coins, but by 2030, they are going to go from 48% down to 10% of this rewards. So they are removing that from the super validators, and the super validators right now have the main control of the supply, but that will be going away as 2030 creeps up. They'll get less rewards from their systems. So hopefully you found something valuable in this video so far, but let's keep going. I'm going to show you, this is where you can actually find their actual network, their lag data, so you can see what's really going on. You can actually dive into it. Again, this link will be in my description, but I want you to take a look at the screen right now. We have Canton Coin supplies 36.58 billion. We have 38 super validators, 641 validator nodes. And then what I want you to show is the daily fees of $720,000 already being burned daily. So $720,000 worth of the Canton Coin is being burned up already. So this is a project that is growing legs, been around for a while, and they expect it to take off even more so. So if you're new, you're still early, do your research and figure out if this is a project for you. That's all I have for you in this video, but hey, as always, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and become that change you want to see. I'll see you on the next one.